Here's Brody Brazil.
Okay, from starting games, let's go to the very end of the night in the games for Oakland in terms of their bullpen, the back end of the bullpen. You could say closer by committee, but I have a feeling it's more going to be the back end by committee. You've got Trevor May, who comes into Oakland after being signed this past offseason. You've got Jeurys Familia, who they just picked up, days ago. Arizona let him go at the end of spring training, and the A's absolutely pounced on it. They brought him in, signed him to a major league deal. And you understand there was probably some competition. The A's probably had their bullpen arms in line, and to get Familia and bring him in and commit to him that fast, it just goes to show you that they saw something interesting. Maybe it was his 1.35 ERA in spring and his 1.67 opponent's average in spring. I think he was pitching well. It's almost a little bit curious why Arizona let him go. And maybe not last minute, because that's when you have to make your decisions, but maybe a really lucky break for the A's that they get to bring back Jeurys Familia. Oh, by the way, look how hard I had to Photoshop that picture of him in the middle. I spent hours putting his head on the A's jersey. No, just kidding. That was from 2018. He's already been a member of the Oakland A's. You obviously know that, but I'm teasing. And then Danny Jimenez, who I think is kind of the expected incumbent closer. That might be the guy you would expect. It's just that last season at the end had the shoulder issues. They said in spring training this year, struggled with velocity. At the beginning, he was only high 80s, eventually got it into low and mid 90s by the end of spring training. But I think Jimenez would probably be the more obvious choice. He's been there before. He's done a little bit of that. Last year, there weren't many save opportunities, but he was good. He was very encouraging as a back-end bullpen pitcher and especially a closer, but you just kind of wonder health-wise how he's going to be, especially to start off this season. And then I kind of glossed over Trevor May, but really excited to bring him in, not only as a contributor on the field, but also a player for that clubhouse. I had a great sit-down conversation with him. In fact, he is the first subject of all A's. It's going to be our April episode. You'll see a full 30-minute chat that I did with Trevor. Great guy, really, really well-spoken, great clubhouse guy. But in his career as a reliever, only 12 saves across 8 seasons. So he has finished games. He has saved games. How many times will we see him as the actual closer? I don't know. And all of this goes to say that if your closer is by committee, then that also kind of means that your 7th and 8th inning guys, your setup guys, are going to be by committee too. Because if your 7th inning guy is closing today, somebody else has to do the 7th or 8th or vice versa. Look, I just hope that the A's are in good situations to close out games, right? With a lead or tied, so that they can put in somebody to hopefully finish the job, because that opportunity hasn't come a ton in recent years. But it is important, right? Close games, the slimmest of lead games in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. If you're the A's, right, you need good arms down there to help secure what might be tiny leads that can turn into wins. So this to me, and there's a couple other names here, I didn't mean to exclude anybody, but this to me is going to be the back end committee of a 7th and 8th and 9th inning pitching situation.